I'll get you for that right now. Okay, so a little while ago, Russ back there decided that he wanted to have this fishing blog. So we started this fly fishing blog together. We've been writing stuff for it, and this is the thing that I'm working on currently to put on there. Now, there's a certain point in this where I'm going to signal you, and you're going to say, "Aww." Okay? So let's just practice.
Okay.
Aww. Okay. You might have done it anyway, but I just wanted to. So this doesn't have a title or anything, but it is about Russ Beck and I. It's worse than it sounds. Yeah, no title. A mild desperation drove me to winter fishing. That's how I started. November lumbered up, and I wasn't ready to put my gear away, so I didn't. I kept going out almost every week. That first winter, I think I caught 2 fish, but I found something else out there that kept me going back. The twisted sense of accomplishment you get after doing something other people consider crazy. It's what made Evel Knievel jump the Snake River. It's why Bear Grylls drinks his own pee on TV from time to time. There are other reasons I liked it, but in the blue air, all I really knew for sure is that winter fishing sharpens an angler, advances his rank. I'm not talking about fishing an Indian summer or a bright afternoon in late February. I mean fishing in the hard cold, fishing weeks of January in search of one decent midge hatch. It's a way to earn stripes. That's why I invited Russ to go along with me. Not for companionship, but so that he could come and see how much of a badass I was, and then spread my legend among the townspeople. After that, he could do what the rest of the warm-blooded, sensible folk do all winter: play Scrabble, maintain a constant body core temperature, whatever. But I knew for a fact he wouldn't show, and to make sure I set an irrationally early start time. The conventional wisdom of winter fishing says, hold off until the sun comes out. Something about letting the fish warm up, like they're senior citizens in a water aerobics class. I knew better. Waiting around for the sun to shine on the Logan River is a good way to get skunked, so I typically start around 9:30 a.m. I told Russ we'd meet at 8:30. I guess it was supposed to be a test. I had never really fished with buddies before that winter. I'd asked some guys to come fish with me in the dead of winter before, but most of them did the right thing. They laughed nervously, held out their hands. Until Russ came along, only once did anyone tell me yes. It was Tom and Robert, a couple guys from work. Robert's from South Carolina, Tom's from Florida. I do not know what they were thinking, I really don't. Perhaps they thought they harbored some special inner heat source from their balmy climes. We fished in the afternoon against my better judgment, but the day was cold anyway, with harsh winds, much ice, and no fish. In other words, just another day in my badass winter fishing journal. I still see Tom and Robert around the office, but they don't talk to me much anymore. I'd gotten to like Russ, so it was unfortunate that the matter of winter fishing would soon come between us too, but the invitation was already made. Russ emailed me a day before and said, and this is my Russ Beck, okay, I'll go. Unless I look out the window in the morning and it's like, oh hell no. Not great.
I like it, it's nice.
Unless I look out the window in the morning and it's like, oh hell no. I took this to mean he was like most fly anglers I know. Rational, but he wasn't. He was sick. He was like me. When I pulled up to the meeting place and saw Russ's car there already, I rightfully assumed that someone who looked just like him had stolen his car and was on the lam in the canyon where I like to fish. I didn't want to blow his cover, so I parked and unpacked my waders. Russ strolled over, ready to go, as I suited up. Cold? I asked. He looked around as if the temperature had just occurred to him. Then he shrugged. I'm okay. Well, wait till we get out there, I said, jerking my chin at the water. I may have made my voice extra gravelly as I said it, like Quinn from Jaws, or George C. Scott in Patton. I'm not sure what kept me from saying, you ever hook a big German brown with ice in all your guides, son? We fished. Russ didn't catch much, which is to say he didn't catch anything. I asked, how you doing now? I should probably get some good gloves, he said, shrugging again. Like yours. Well, I said, they're not that good. And they weren't. Slightly better than bare skin, but only just. Sometimes I stuffed them with chemical hand warmers, but they'd fall out in the water. I didn't tell Russ about the hand warmers right away. In fact, I considered taking off the gloves to eliminate his handicap, but I didn't. Pretty soon it got to so I couldn't fish in the cold without Russ. The colder it got, the harder that guy fished. I also didn't tell him that I normally only fish for an hour or two in the winter. That was my secret. Anyone can dress up warm and stand in the water for that long. Catching a fish only complicates things because your hands are liable to get wet. Fortunately, Russ's casting ensured that his hands stayed dry a lot of the time. That was the tricky thing with Russ. It was hard to know if he was having fun, and I strongly suspected that he wasn't. We had some good days, and some really good days, but when February arrived, we couldn't find a single fish in the whole river. I had to come up with something, so I went philosophical. Sometimes it's just good to get out, I'd say, rubbing my hands together. I mean, look at this place, the ice, the sky, not another living soul out here. Crazy thing is, he bought it. And crazier than that is I was right. I'd either forgotten it or just ignored it. In spring, summer, and fall, it's difficult to have any western waterway to yourself, even for an hour. All through the sensible seasons, rivers exert an irresistible gravitational force on those who live nearby. And one thing or another always draws people near. Longer days, holiday weekends, May fly hatches, the mere appearance of the sun after a day of light rain in May can be ruinous to an angler's chance at solitude. There are places along the Logan River where you are more likely to see a young lady in a bridal gown and her photographer than a moose or a beaver. In winter, all of that changes. The river is viewed as desolate in the winter, viewed as dangerous even, and it becomes possible to own vast stretches of water as if you hold an actual deed. And so, I had to get a fishing buddy to find out how great it was to fish on my own. I needed company to remember that solitude was always enough to make it worth it. This year, Russ got some new gloves, really nice ones. Windproof, lightweight, made especially for fishing. They look expensive. Thanks.